easy. When we talk about the Bible, it seems like that's a long time. We were not there, so we might not even know. You get. So let's share some of our personal testimonies. I have personal testimonies where I would even want to share because let me even say, getting to even do the right kind of test is a miracle on its own. I remember a couple of years ago, I noticed that I started coughing, and this cough became intense. Gradually was intense and all of those things. And my neighbors would say, when people around you would want to just be the medical practitioners every day, it happens every time. And they would say, "It's pneumonia, you have cold, and you have this, I should be taking warm water and all of that. I should always put on my footwears." I did all of those things. It kept increasing, and it got to a point where I was literally losing breath, coughing. And at that point, there were times I stayed in a tight environment where the ventilation was not much. And I remember a couple of nights sleeping in that confined environment. I would wake up, I would cough. I would cough like my life would leave me. It was that devastating. At that point, of course, I even had to go for tests, and they took my, how do they call it now, flame? When you cough, what you bring out, they took it and ran tests, brought results for things I don't like. I didn't even know what they were saying, but gave me drugs. I took the drugs and everything. Sometimes it will just subside the next time. Like, I noticed I continued this with this cup for, say, over 2 years. You get. So it got to a point that it was embarrassing, like really embarrassing, because I couldn't just laugh. Really. I don't even want to be triggered by anything. I couldn't laugh. I couldn't feel comfortable like every other person would feel comfortable. If I talk to a point, I would cough. In the space of 5 minutes, I would cough like 3 times. You know, it was really that bad. It was really that bad. And to a point where I started feeling like when I cough out the stuff, it will start feeling like when you have, when you go to buy eggs and the egg is bad, that kind of smell, that kind of awful feeling. That was how I was feeling. To me, when something starts happening to you like that, and you say, a fine girl like me, it's embarrassing, really. And before you know, it starts affecting somehow the way you see yourself, the belief you have in yourself. And being that I've taken medications, I've gone to run some tests, I've done things medically. So I wouldn't say I didn't do my bit medically, right? So it got to a point where I remember one of the church programs we had. I had to tell God, and that was the beginning of was it last 2 years now? Yes, it was January program. I had to tell God that those points, I may not really be even asking for healing right now, but all I'm asking is for Him to instruct me, to direct me on the correct diagnosis I need to undergo, right? The correct thing I need to do, the correct kind of test I need to run. And that January, I told myself that I wasn't just going to continue. It's a fresh year, and I had lots of new plans for myself. So I didn't want to continue with that. And good thing, I had to go to a primary health care facility, not the private hospitals now. No downplay on those on the private hospital and all of that. I had to go to the government owned primary health care. And I met a doctor, all of those things, payment and tests and everything. So at the time, he had to give me a recommendation to go to a certain lab for an X-ray and all of that, which I did. And I returned to him again, and all of those things. I was given medication for that cough. And while I was on the medication, I would tell you without doubt that before it was 2 weeks complete into taking of those drugs, I was feeling so well. And before that time too, I used to have, if you're not the one in the shoes, if you're not the one wearing the shoes, you might not really know how huge the testimony would be. You get. If maybe someone that has been facing series of headache, you were like, is it headache that somebody will come and share testimony on radio? What was that? But if you don't know how disturbing headache can actually be, you might not really know how much God has been good to you. So after which I took those medication, and before 2 weeks I was feeling all right, but then I had to complete the dosage. And not just that God healed me of that cough, not just that the medication worked very well, it went on to heal several other hormonal imbalances I was facing at the time. So it was like one drug or one miracle for every other thing. And I can tell you categorically that from that point, like I could laugh. There is nothing that brings me peace of mind like seeing something that could make me laugh or hearing something that could make me laugh, and I laugh out so loud. Like I could laugh without restrictions. You understand? So I'm really grateful to God, and this is me saying that miracles happen in diverse ways. So your miracle might just be that God will lead you to the right medication. God will lead you to the right kind of test. God will lead you to the right hospital. God will lead you to the right medical practitioners that would really help you. So, Lizzie, let's hear from you. Then we will play some songs, and what should I do now? Okay, let's play this song by Frank Edwards. We'll be right back. The lines are opened. The phone lines are opened. You can as well call in to send your text messages, or let us know what you want us to pray for you for. The reason why we are sharing this testimonies is for you to know that God is still in the business of answering prayers. And today is not an exception. You in the hospital, the power of God will hit you really hard this morning, and you will jack up in Jesus' name. Let's play the song by Frank Edwards, Changing Lives. Please stay with us. Oh. So you say, I just want to be sure you're ready to say. You might not finish.